people are starting to think of 15 weeks. That seems to be a number that people are talking about right now.
Would you sign that?
I would sit down with both sides and I'd negotiate something, and we'll end up with peace on that issue for the first time in 52 years. I'm not going to say I would or I wouldn't. I mean, DeSantis is willing to sign a 5-week and 6-week ban.
Would you support that? You think that
I
goes
think what
too
he
far?
did is a terrible thing and a terrible mistake.
But you would not ban it?
No.
Or ban partial birth abortion?
No, I am pro-choice in every respect and as far as it goes, but I just hate it.
We'll get something done where everyone is going to be very satisfied. I believe that.
On the national level,
I think we'll get it done on some level.
I think we should be focusing on how to limit the number of abortions, and they ought to be able to have a common ground and consensus as to do that. I think the vast majority of the American people think that can be done.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer Now. We've got to talk a little bit about the interview that Donald Trump did with Meet the Press. He talked about abortion, and this is a big issue in the state of Alabama. We have a constitutional amendment saying that we are a pro-life state. We have a total ban on abortion, and while people will say, what about the health of the mother? No state says the mother must die before an abortion can take place. It's just a stupid thing stupid people say. So don't buy in to that nonsense. But what the story here is, in reality, is Donald Trump basically proving what I've been telling you guys about Donald Trump all along. The guy lacks any real positions on anything. He is just kind of winging it and going with the crowd. And you can say that's known and fine and all this other stuff if you want to. I got a little bit of a problem with it. But here he is talking about the issue of abortion. And if you're a pro-life person, you're going to find yourself a little upset with what Donald Trump is saying, but maybe that's your own fault. Here we go. Let's roll it.
Mr. President, I want to give voters who are going to be weighing in on this election a very clear sense of where you stand on this.
I think they're all going to like me. I think both sides are going to like me.
What's
going to have to happen is you're going to have to listen. You're asking me a question. What's going to happen is you're going to come up with a number of weeks or months. You're going to come up with a number that's going to make people happy.
I love this idea. I'm a big supporter of this. I've been telling you all along, 15 weeks should be fine, 22 weeks should be fine. I actually don't disagree with Donald Trump too much on this issue. Well, what he's saying now on this issue. The problem is it's not really what he believes. And that is, of course, where the real problem in all of this actually lies. So that's part of the problem here. So just be honest.
Because 92% of the Democrats don't want to see abortion after a certain period of time.
If a federal ban landed on your desk, if you were reelected, would you sign it at 15?
Are you talking about a complete ban?
What does it matter? The whole point was Roe v. Wade was supposed to kick it back to the states, and then the states decide. That's what the actual thing was supposed to be about. It wasn't supposed to be about whether or not you could finagle some sort of deal to get a national ban, which is never going to happen. This is a wasted topic here. The point of Roe v. Wade was kick it back to the states and let the states decide. Now, do I think Republicans have gone too far? Yes, I said that from the very beginning. I said it when Alabama was debating theirs. There should be exceptions to rape and incest. I've said that. I believe it. But is that Donald Trump's position that it's always held? I don't think so. In fact, he's held a lot of positions on this issue. And so is Joe Biden. We'll get to that in a little bit, too.
A ban at 15 weeks.
Well, people are starting to think of 15 weeks. That seems to be a number that people are talking about right now.
Would you sign that?
I would sit down with both sides and I'd negotiate something, and we'll end up with peace on that issue for the first time in 52 years.
That's not going to happen, by the way. It's just not going to happen. There's not going to be peace on that issue for the first time in 52 years. That 15, there's no way to get that through the United States Senate or the House, no matter what the makeup is. You're not going to get that through.
I'm not going to say I would or I wouldn't. I mean, DeSantis is willing to sign a 5-week and 6-week ban.
Would you support that? You think that
I
goes
think what
too
he
far?
did is a terrible thing and a terrible mistake.
Now, I find that to be an interesting choice by Donald Trump to say that. Because before he supported that bill, he even supported the bill DeSantis signed before. He's always been a supporter, well, let's take it back, since he's been running for president in 2015, he's always been a supporter of bans on abortion. Now, politically, I don't think they're that smart. But he's only opposing what DeSantis did because DeSantis did it. That's it, and that's transparently obvious here. And again, it goes to show you something I've also said for a very long time. The guy has no core convictions. He likes to win. And that's it. Now, he's up 50-something points. He's going to be the nominee. Fine, whatever. It's just worth noting it doesn't really have to be this way. But I want to go back to Donald Trump's past. And I'm not talking about last week or anything like this. I'm talking about a real long time ago. Check this out.
Partial birth abortion, the eliminating of abortion in the third trimester. Big issue in Washington. Would President Trump ban partial birth abortion?
Well, look, I'm very pro-choice. I hate the concept of abortion. I hate it. I hate everything it stands for. I cringe when I listen to people debating the subject. But I just believe in choice. And again, it may be a little bit of a New York background because there is some different attitude in different parts of the country. And, you know, I was raised in New York and grew up and work and everything else in New York City. But I am strongly for choice, and yet I hate the concept of abortion.
But you would not ban it?
No.
Or ban partial birth abortion?
No, I am pro-choice in every respect and as far as it goes, but I just hate it.
So he doesn't want to ban partial birth abortion in that clip. But in this clip, a national abortion ban, absolutely.
We'll get something done where everyone is going to be very satisfied. I believe that.
On the national level and national level?
I think we'll get it done on some level. It could be on different levels, but we're going to get it done. I know the issue very well. I think I know the issue better than most, and we will get that taken care of.
Now, again, my problem with this is he doesn't really have any real beliefs. That's the issue here. And it's so frustrating to see so many people put so much weight in him. Hey, look, in this interview with Kristen Welker, he also says something along the lines of, look, I put judges on there that did something no one thought was ever possible. We went in and we actually did away with Roe v. Wade. And he's right, a very pro-life position. But he can't stand on that. He can't stand on that because I guess that means he's standing with DeSantis on that particular issue. So he's going against his own positioning. Why? I don't know. I guess he thinks it's a political loser in a general election, and maybe it is. But he just, again, has no core convictions. And speaking of someone with no core convictions, let's talk about his opponent, who loves abortion so much that he changed the Pentagon policy for it in order to get more abortions. You know how many abortions have taken place at the Pentagon? Not at the Pentagon, although they would do them there. I mean, hell, Elizabeth Warren had no reservations about going and doing abortions in national parks and things like that. So, yeah, they'd probably want to do them at the Pentagon. But do you know how many abortions have been done since the Pentagon changed their policy? 12. 12. Was that worth changing a policy and causing all the issues they caused with Tommy Tuberville and with these promotions? People should be mad at Joe Biden about that. And if the media was fair and honest, they probably would be. But because they're not, they're not. Joe Biden is the bad guy in that situation. He's the villain. And on top of that, he doesn't even believe what he's doing. That's, again, the worst part of this. Neither of these guys actually believes anything they're saying. There's better options than these two. People who have been consistent on what they believe, who tell the truth. These guys are both liars. Biden and Trump are both liars.
Tell me about abortion. Where do you stand, and how will you face that issue as a candidate?
By the way, this is 2008 when this took place. This is Joe Biden in 2008. Listen to how different he sounds. Not only in what he's saying, but how he's saying it.
It's going to be very difficult. I do not view abortion as a choice and a right. I think it's always a tragedy. And I think that it should be rare and safe. And I think we should be focusing on how to limit the number of abortions. And they ought to be able to have a common ground and consensus as to do that. I think the vast majority of the American people think that can be done.
That's a reasonable position. I'll take 2008 Joe Biden on this particular issue. Now, did he know what he was saying then? Probably. Was it political? Probably. He's a liar, pathological liar. But that position is at least sane. This idea we're going to make everybody happy and all this other stuff, come on. This is a slap in the face of Donald Trump's supporters. It just is. His pro-life supporters, this is a slap in the face. He almost like they're the bad guys here. Now, on the issue, I'm more in line with who Donald Trump is today than who he was, 4 years ago. And definitely more in line with who he is today than he was 20 years ago. But I just don't believe he believes any of this stuff. And that's always been my problem with Donald Trump, and this abortion thing, I think, just makes that crystal. How do you swing so far on these issues? I get wanting to win. Hell, make the argument that it's a political loser and that the issue should be decided by the states, and that's all you got to do. That's really the right answer. If somebody asks you about a national abortion ban, you say, look, I kick that issue back to the states. That's where the issue should be resolved. And that's a winning position because that's what people wanted. And then they go out and they fight it out in their states to decide exactly what they did in the state of Alabama. The state should have a right to ban it outright. Even if I don't agree with that, they should have the right to ban it outright. That's what Donald Trump did. That was Donald Trump's big victory on Roe v. Wade. And for some reason, he doesn't want to own it. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I just don't think he believes anything he says.